There's one screenshot in particular where I told them I thought they were mature for their age, and that was partially why I wanted to date them.
So listening through all of the stuff about Ciney Bear has given me about as much whiplash as a small child in an active washing machine, and for some reason it seems to actively decrease people's IQ, and somehow manage to expose 3 different people at once. And for those of you who aren't terminally online, unlike me, and don't know about the stuff with Ciney Bear and Birdie, I'll give a quick rundown. Also, make sure to smash the like and subscribe button before I smash your mom, and let's continue. Anyway, Ciney Bear and Birdie are animator YouTubers, and no, I swear I'm not becoming an art drama channel. And a while back, Birdie moved in with Ciney Bear, and after a while of this, Birdie would find out that Ciney Bear was a groomer, liking partners how Ubisoft likes their games, underdeveloped, and he'd go on to make a video about how his roommate just groomed a 14-year-old, which would be met by sympathy and praise from many people, including me, since many people have understood that Birdie has gone through quite a lot of shit in his life, from having a fucked up upbringing to being bullied by adults when he was literally 12 years old, so at least in his case he actually did some fucked up shit, since drama and commentary YouTubers back then had quite the affinity for bullying literal children, and after this people would rightfully bash Ciney Bear and her god-awful responses. However, over the coming months this would snowball into a lot more. Okay, this is unrelated, but why the fuck do I keep getting advertised shitty crypto and casino apps? Sometime after all of this was happening, the YouTuber Just a Robot would make a now infamously bad video defending Ciney Bear, and would make an interview with her, desperately trying to defend her, but she would continuously fumble so hard that some of the stuff she said would even make him uncomfortable.
I know I've said that was incorrect, was like, so Jack keeps saying that he was groomed by Kitty Dog when he was 12 and Kitty Dog was 14, and I believed him.
Okay,
Hey yo, what the fuck?
And people would start clowning on this lobotomite as well. However, Ciney Bear would eventually leak their DMs, which showed that Just a Robot simped harder for pedos than Rocky Raccoon. And after that, people would find out how much of a spineless loser he is in general. And I'm not sure why he thought it would work out, since Ciney Bear clearly liked people who haven't said their first words yet. And both of their careers would fall harder than a disabled grandma tumbling down the stairs. And for a while, that's where I thought it ended. And if I wasn't on that multi-month long hiatus and made a video on them like I was originally planning to, then that's where it would have ended too. But then I was recommended a video on Birdie, then another, then another, and that's when I realized all of this went even deeper than I thought it did. And as it turns out, Birdie isn't quite the angel himself. Some of the first things I found out about when looking into this was when Jack dated a 13-year-old when he was 16, and even if that's only 2 years apart, there's still a shit ton of development that happens in between those times. And in Birdie's video, when he said he was coming back, he attempted to address the grooming allegations. Not well, of course, that would involve taking accountability, but instead he tried to flip the script and say that the 13-year-old was grooming him at the time. And when he brought up that one infamous message that he sent, he claimed that it was to comfort them. But at this point, you might as well use the excuse that the ghost of Jared Fogle possessed you. But this kind of stuff isn't a one-off occasion either, as this Neanderthal goes after little kids more than Team Rocket, as Birdie has been okay with and encouraged a 15-year-old to draw fan art of, let's just say, questionable versions of their OCs, and with Birdie encouraging the sexual and concerning nature of these images, and with the 15-year-old being obsessed and seemingly emotionally dependent on him, it really doesn't paint a good picture. I need to get a pop filter some of these days, I swear to God. And the comments Birdie made on Tumblr on these posts showed that he knew about his age, and was completely okay with feeding into this parasocial relationship. And all of this honestly sucks, because for a while I genuinely thought Birdie was completely innocent. And I had watched his video when he was returning to YouTube, yet apparently all the grooming stuff had gone over my head, since I was only really aware about all of the stuff that he went through, so I didn't really bother to dig into it and all the countless dramas he's been through over the years, since that would probably take longer than studying the entirety of Wikipedia. And I even commented on one of these videos, but I don't remember if it was that one or the one with Ciney Bear. And at the time, I was pretty happy that he had his own GoFundMe to get back on his feet. But as you'll see, he managed to fuck that up too, like he's trying to speedrun a prison sentence. And as it turns out, Birdie had pulled a boogie, completely misusing the money from his GoFundMe. And while me and many other people expected him to do what he was supposed to do with it, using it to help have a stable life, this kleptomaniac has been spending it all on random merchandise and fucking My Little Pony stuff, since why spend your donation money on actually important things when you can use it to fulfill your collections? This is like if the CEO of Make-A-Wish was secretly using the money to buy shit tons of Pokemon cards, and no amount of excuses can defend all of the grooming and manipulation that Birdie has done. Oh, and by the way, these were thousands of dollars, and while I haven't personally seen it myself, I've seen lots of comments saying that people have tried to defend Birdie, saying that he has autism. Last time I checked, autism doesn't make you pull Logan Paul and be more obsessed with kids than Mr. Crocker. And I'm aware that Birdie has gone through quite a lot of shit in his life, but that doesn't excuse this Harley Quinn looking ass and all the things and harm he's done, as that only continues the cycle of abuse. However, something I've seen more recently is probably one of the worst cases of this yet, which was some of the stuff that Birdie had done in the group called DICE, which is basically a fucking Discord cult. And back when this was all going down, the group had lots of minors in it, and it would groom and manipulate them and encourage them to do awful things, such as SH. I have no idea if you can actually say that or not, or if it's just people being overly careful or something. And I had heard of this virtual Jonestown a while back, and the extremely illegal stuff that happened in it, but I never remembered hearing about Birdie even being a part of it until recently. And I think Harley TBS made a good video on it, which you should watch. Okay, apparently Birdie is a much bigger part of this than I remember. I'm just fucking stupid apparently. And Birdie was part of these actions as well, also encouraging minors to cut themselves. It was a complete shitstorm, and all the people encouraging that kind of stuff should have their hard drives checked. And being close to the leader of that group like that is like being on Epstein's flight logs. And while Birdie has had a history of troubling behavior for years and has been called out quite a lot, I've definitely been noticing that a lot more recently, since Birdie's return video and the stuff with Ciney Bear got pretty big. And now that Birdie's a full-grown adult now, and has all of these eyes on him once again, he's now having to face the music of all of the stuff he's done throughout the years has come back to bite him in the ass. And at this point, he doesn't have any more excuses or ways to get out, since even after all this time, he's seemingly learned nothing and continues to deflect and ignore. While back then, I saw him as a mentally disturbed child who had way too much internet access. He's a fully grown adult now who's in his early 20s, and it's all honestly just sad to watch, because it's clear and has been clear for years that he should stay off the internet, and at this rate be in prison or at the very least a psych ward, because it's obvious he still hasn't learned his lesson and is likely going to continue to manipulate people unless something is done about it. But until then, that's all I have to say for now, so bye.